Hey guys, Fun Size Equestrian here, and I'm here today with a new video. Now today's video is going to be a story time video, and we'll answer the question, why? Why do I love horses, and why horses are my chosen passion in life? So the story begins around, I believe, 2004, when my family and I went down to vacation in, Hilton Head, South Carolina. And right there, I actually had my first trail ride on a horse. The horse was an Appaloosa mare named Fancy, and I loved every single minute of it. It was like a dream come true for me. Now, even before that vacation, I did have a bit of a passion for horses, but I never really had an experience in riding one. I used to watch the Saddle Club, I watched Black Beauty a lot of those horse movies and horse TV shows I watched. But yeah, once I sat on a horse in South Carolina, that was it. I begged my dad for riding lessons. And one day, in November of 2004 of that year, I actually got my first riding lesson. It was at a farm in Connecticut, and my lesson was actually a Western lesson on a horse called Midnight, and that was it. I was hooked. I had a lesson every single Saturday, and every single Saturday I was assigned Midnight as my horse. Now Midnight was, I believe he was a bay quarter horse gelding. He was a pretty tall gelding, but really steady Eddie. He had a slow walk, a slow jog, and a really nice lope. But yeah, I rode at that farm for from 2004 to around 2009. And during my time at that farm in Connecticut, I went from Midnight to another horse called McFlurry, to another called Jack, to a thoroughbred called Joe Cool, to another horse who I fell in love with. His name was Cobalt. Oh my god, Cobalt was my dream horse. He was a black quarter horse with a star on his forehead, and I dreamed of owning him. He was the one horse who I would stay after my lesson just to groom and pick out his hooves if he didn't have any other lessons, and just hang out with him in his stall. He was a horse that I wanted badly. And also during that time, I made the switch from Western riding to riding English, and doing jumps for the first time, and learning how to canter as well. It was a really fun time for me in getting those riding lessons and learning about grooming and tacking and just general riding as well. Now, around 2009, I stopped riding, unfortunately, because of school. I was graduating my senior year of high school and going to a community college, and that kind of got in the way of my riding. So I took a break from it, got a job, and went to college for about 3 months, and then I just stopped going to college and just continued working for the later half of my life. Now, fast forward to 2015, my family and I move up to the Poconos, and I look into getting into riding again. My husband, the husband from England, encourages me to look for a barn and to start riding, since it was the thing that I was really missing from my life. I wasn't really happy, and I just felt like I was in autopilot, going to work, coming back home, going to work, and coming back home. So, summer of 2015 rolls around, I contact this barn for lessons. I meet with the barn owner and my instructor at the time, book a lesson, and wait for that lesson to roll around. Took my lesson, and it was just wonderful being on the back of the horse again. And I'm actually at that barn till this day. The barn that I go to is great. Everyone there is like a family, and I probably couldn't have found a better barn. I'm actually thankful for my husband for pushing me to get back into riding, and thankful for the opportunities that this barn has given me to improve my riding as well. This barn is also the first barn where I learned about the discipline of eventing and got me into eventing. I also had my first show series there, and it's also where I really started to compete and take riding like more as a sport and a huge passion in my life. Okay, now we're gonna fast forward again to December of 2016. That was a huge change in my life. My father unfortunately passed away from a heart attack, and it was a huge blow to me and my mother, my brother, and the nephews. I was still writing and doing my lessons, but I still felt like there was a hole in my heart after losing my dad. So now comes November 2017. I just got done with a horse show, and I overhear my mother and the barn owner talking about surprising me with a horse for my birthday and Christmas. Now, thank God I heard that, because at that time, I felt like I really had to think about it and did not want my mother surprising me with a horse, because I know how a horse is a big financial commitment. So I think about it, and I talk it over with my husband, who encourages me, and then talk it over with my friends, who also encourage me to go ahead, and talk it over with my co-workers who also encourage me to go ahead. So then my horse search starts. I look at a few sales ads on the various horse sales websites and come across one for a pony. Hi, Nitro. These cats, I swear. So I come across this ad for a chestnut pony, about 13 hands with a star on his head, with the name Honky. Well, with the registered name Honky Tonk Jet. I also come across an ad for a bay Mustang. Now, I did call to chat about the bay Mustang and also message the person who had the chestnut gelding. I dreamed of owning a Mustang, but I didn't like the sound of how green he was. Now, the chestnut pony had been on my mind at the time. I messaged the owner about the chestnut gelding. For some reason, I couldn't get him out of my head. So, me, my barn owner, and my mother were like, alright, we'll go see the chestnut gelding. So we go up to the farm, I try him out, and instantly I fall in love with him. It was like that hole in my heart that's been there has been filled by this chestnut gelding. So we go ahead and buy him and bring him back to the barn. And there, he got his name Jet. And then you know how the rest of the story turns out. Jet is now with me, and we're working on getting him to canter. He's been great over the crossrails so far, and hopefully someday I hope to compete him in some beginner novice eventing. But there's also more to the story. So as you all know, that my husband is in England, and we have been in the talks about who's moving where, and the thing that we hope to happen is I will apply for my spousal visa to join him in England by around October, November, and I am hoping to actually bring Jet over to England so Jet could be with me. And I know that's going to be a huge thing to do. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of money in shipping him and in getting him over and then finding a barn over there. So what I am going to do while I'm over there is actually lease Jet out to someone in my barn so Jet can still be worked over here while I make the money over in England to bring Jet over to England. But yeah, honestly, I don't know what I would do without Jet. Jet has, in a way, he's been my emotional support animal. I mean, he really makes me happy when I go to the barn, and I do not regret one bit in getting him. And I hopefully plan to keep him for the rest of his life and for the rest of my life. And another thing I'm thankful for is the support that my husband gives to me. My husband's been a huge supporter in all my equestrian activities, even though he does call me pony crazy sometimes, but he married an equestrian, and this is what an equestrian does. They just love horses. Horses are their passion. I mean, I know horses are my passion, and the horse riding is my passion, sportive eventing is my passion, dressage even. All aspects that come with horses are my passion. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the story of why horses are my passion. and how I got into horses, and how Jet came into my life. I've actually been meaning to do this video for a while, and I thought today, why not? Why not do this video? And so, here you go. If you like this video, please hit like down below. If you want to see more equestrian content like this, please hit subscribe right down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video that I post. Bye!